Hello everyone, this is Elize.
And this is Olof, and you...
We are Amaranthe.
Yes, and we're right here in beautiful Trezzo in Italy, and you're just about to watch an interview with Heavy Words. Check it out.
Welcome to a new world, open up the gates of paradise. Let's get cynical, born into a new maze. Open up your eyes and so we're all. We're Captain Cynical.
We are here with Olof and Elize from Amaranthe. Welcome on heavywords.com. How are the things going so far?
Thank you very much for coming to our show, by the way. Today we are doing extremely good because it's nice weather, it's a fantastic venue, and we
in lovely
really,
Italy, so-
yeah, exactly, we enjoy to be here in Italy. So we're looking forward to the show tonight, and so far it's been a very good tour. So everything is great.
Yeah, fantastic. I can just agree. Yeah, the show so far has been really, really amazing, and yeah, we played here last year as well at the live club in Trezzo, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and it was fantastic. So we have very high expectations, but we're sure it will be fulfilled.
You especially love Italy. I read on Facebook that you've been to Venice. Did you like the city?
Of Venice, you mean?
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. I've been saving that for a very long time. I've been visiting in most of Europe's, really historical cities and stuff like that. But Venice, I've never visited until now. So I was there 3 months ago, and it was bellissima. La Serenissima, bellissima.
You guys are touring through Europe together with Santa Cruz and Engel. How is it going?
It's going great. I think both bands are extremely talented, and besides also the music that they're very good at what they're doing, they are also amazing people. So it's actually been one of the best tours for me personally, at least so far.
Yeah, and I can just agree. Very, very good musicians, and they write some fantastic songs, and it's always a pleasure to have them warming up for us, and we can listen to some good music in the dressing room.
How is the audience response to the new songs played live?
I feel personally that when we start to play the new songs, that everyone comes alive a little bit more, which is a very good sign because it means that they appreciate the new songs.
Yeah, your songs are like a kind of treatment for people. Sometimes I listen to your songs and I feel happy, energetic, so that's a good thing.
Super good. That's exactly what we want to give through the music.
Yeah, that's one of the main points of the music, because like rock music and metal music in particular can be very, depressing. And I think when you are depressed, you don't need to hear about somebody else being even more depressed. So we're trying to infuse some energy into people in general and create happiness. So if you feel that way, then that's perfect.
So considering I have the both of you here, how did you get to know to each other and how did you create the Amaranthe project?
We first we collaborated. Olof, it's better you tell what happened.
Yeah, the first time we collaborated musically was back in 2006 on my other band, Dragonland, on an album called Astronomy. She was singing on a couple of songs, and I actually met her through Jake, who's the other singer of the band. And
Because I sang on his album.
yeah, exactly. So they had been knowing each other for maybe a year or something like that. And I remember Jake was working at a bar, and he was telling me when I was visiting that bar that a friend of mine is going to come by soon, and I can't really, spend that much time with her because I'm working. So maybe you can hang out a bit with her, and I did, and the rest is history, I guess.
That's great. Were both Morten and Johan the immediate choice you had in mind as drummer and bass player?
I mean, absolutely with Morten, because back when we were discussing, having this project, and when when I was collaborating with Elize on the Dragonland record, I was also touring with another band called Night Rage, and Morten was playing drums with that band, and I realized that Morten is, probably the best drummer I've ever heard, in this genre of music. And we were talking a bit about the, the style and the direction, because there was a band called Nemec, touring with us back then, and they had this rhythmical parts which are kind of a little bit similar to the Amaranthe style, but they were always always growling. So me and Morten were saying like, what if you would use all these rhythmical parts and then make something really really catchy for the chorus? So yeah, so when it came down to actually forming a band, then Morten was the very very obvious choice. Johan, he joined the Fold a little bit later in early 2009, I think. And it was Andy who was our previous growler. It was his friend, and he recommended him. And yeah, he turned out not to be that good of a bass player, but very nice guy. No, I'm kidding.
Charming on stage, so that's
He
also
is
very important.
fantastic,
The
yes.
funny part is though actually that when he first auditioned for Amaranthe, he was playing in ENG.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And now we tour together, so that's pretty funny.
Small world.
How did you discover Henrik as a replacement for the growler part?
I think that was also through friends knowing someone, and we tried him just as a replacer for Andy first, because Andy had kids and then he had his regular job and he didn't felt like he could go on tour, so we had Henrik as a replacer for 2 years, and then we thought that okay, it's maybe more fair to have the actual people in the band who is also touring, so we had to speak about what to do there, and then of course it was an obvious choice to keep Henrik because he also really wanted to be in the band and he showed like a lot of passion for the project, so that's why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you expect to have all this immediate success when you started?
I personally just feel like when we wrote the first demos and when I listened to them, I felt that it was just something extremely unique and something that I just couldn't stop listening to myself. So my thought was, if I feel so much for this music, I can't be the only one. Well, I could, but that would be a little rare maybe. So I thought I kind of was hoping for making other people feel the same way as I did, and it turned out that a lot of people actually caught the attention in the same way, and I guess that's why we somehow got discovered by many people. Also, since we just stood out, from the rest, and it was more like people were talking about it, like, oh, have you heard this new, very, very either super bad or amazing band? And so, well, yeah, the answer is that I was hoping for it, and I had a feeling in my heart that it could be, something. So that's why I choose to put all my money and all my time into the band. Okay. What do you say?
Yeah, I just agree completely, and I think from the very first moment that we put up the songs on MySpace and the first reactions that we got there, even if I had been playing and releasing records for 8 years at that point, it was still something, a kind of a reaction, response that I haven't really seen before, and since then it's just been growing very quickly, and just like Elize said, like in the days of the early demos, me and Elize, we were hang out with each other and always listening to our own music, and I never did that before, so I guess that's a good sign.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're proud of your own music, then and you really, really, really love it from the bottom of your heart, there's a very good chance that other people like it as well, I guess.
A lot of people talk about you as a simple band who mixes pop and metal. What's your opinion about that?
I think it's very, very easy to disregard pop music in general as something fabricated and something very simple, and I wholeheartedly disagree. Of course, there are like or artists that are completely manufactured and they can't sing and they're just a product. But then again, in pop, you have some of the most talented musicians in the entire business. And I did this comparison a week ago, I think, between. So just to explain it to the metal people, because a lot of metal people thinks that Christina Aguilera or Beyonce, they can't sing for shit. But in my world, Christina Aguilera is like Yngwie Malmsteen is on guitar, but on vocals. So in the sense that we can appreciate pop music for the great artists that they are, we are not afraid to incorporate that element into our music, and that doesn't make us more simple or less talented. Actually, to be able to combine this kind of really hard metal style with this pop music, I think it's anything but simple. I think it requires a lot of talent, if I may say so myself. So I don't agree at all us being simple. I think it's the other way around.
You guys are having success since 4 years and recorded 3 albums. What are your plans for the future? Any summer festivals?
We're gonna play a couple, and then we're going on a US tour in a month. And then we go to Japan for 2 shows. I think they're official now. And then we actually I think that's so far what we have in plan. And then we're gonna take maybe a small break to write music in the beginning of next year.
So you are you planning to record a new album soon?
Within 2 years, I would say. Let's say that. It's so good. We are on buses, so we decide.
You are on the road a lot. What's the best and worst thing about it?
The best thing is to meet new people and to be, just travel the world, see different places. And the audience, of course. And playing the show. The worst thing is the food, because sometimes it's very hard to find food, like in Spain, for example, when we got our food break, they had a siesta, so we weren't able to find any food anywhere. So we felt like, chickens running around, like, searching for food. And then I didn't find any food, so I didn't eat anything, and it was pretty hard, 4 days in a row. And also that there is no, it's a little bit like being in prison, because you have this, you're always inside some kind of fence, and and there is limited tillgång till, vad heter det? Access to showers and toilets.
And do you think the same?
I mean, I agree with the whole venue situation. Always sitting inside some crappy place with a lot of graffiti and stuff like that. And both me and Elize, we like it when it's a little bit more fresh and clean, and maybe a little bit more modern or classy or whatever. But of course, there are some really, really great things about touring, like actually getting to see the world. Because we really try to get downtown, see some things, and experience the people in the city. Because a lot of bands, they come to the venue and they sit inside the venue the whole day. But when we are in Milan, of course now we're in Trezzo, which is kind of far from anything at all. But usually, last time we were here, for example, we went into the downtown, into Milan. Yeah, exactly. So getting to see places like Barcelona and Vienna and Milan, obviously, and Budapest and places like that. It's really a privilege, I would say.
Talking about visiting places, you recently visited CERN in Switzerland. How was it?
Oh my God! It was one of the most fantastic days of my life. It was. I've been really fascinated by CERN in general for the last 10 years. I've been following the development of the Large Hadron Collider and all that. And to be able to sit inside of CERN, having people from CERN talking and explaining how the whole thing works on a level which you could actually, sort of actually really understand. And that was absolutely phenomenal. And afterwards, we were having some slightly philosophical conversations with our guide regarding, the origin of matter and string theory and stuff like that. So, no, just in general, it was an absolute privilege. CERN in general is it's like a utopian city without crime. There's no police there, and everybody's really well educated, and I can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah. No, I agree. It was amazing. It felt like going back to school, but on a higher level. Yeah, like studiebesök.
If you look at your future, what would you think you will be doing 10 years from now?
I will do music.
Yeah.
Hopefully I maybe have a kid or two. Hopefully, I live in LA in Beverly Hills, and that's pretty much everything I wish for.
And you?
Agree with Elize 100%. Hopefully I will do music, hopefully I will have a kid and living in the Hollywood Hills.
So you will be close to each other.
Yeah. We're gonna
exactly,
follow each
perfect,
other,
perfect,
I guess, because we have exactly the same dreams and goals. So that's always good when you work together.
Okay. How did you start singing in your case, and how did you start playing guitar?
I started to sing. My mom says I was like 3 months old or something. No, but she's a musician, and like everyone in my family are still musicians. So it was just, instead of speaking to me, she sang to me, and so, I probably just picked it up, and I also was singing together with her. So I don't really remember, like the first time I was like vad heter det?
Experimented.
Nej, upptäckte.
Discovered.
Discovered my voice. So it's just been in the family, and my mom has always, being like, when I sing at home, she's been like singing along, and we do the harmonies on top of each other. So that's just feels so naturally for me, and it's always been so. That's it.
So I guess just like Elize, I was growing up in a very musical family, and I think it was my grandfather that took the initiative to start to explain music to me. And I remember he had music theory lessons with me when I was like 5 years old, and I was really, really, really into it. Because at that point, my mother was listening a lot to classical music, and my dad was listening a lot to Led Zeppelin, and I was like, whoa! I always considered there was always a magic in music that I needed to pursue. I needed to understand it. I had this intense craving. It wasn't the fact, because I had a lot of people around me who were interested in music, but for me, I was absolutely mesmerized. It was something, it was like a need, a longing that I needed to fulfill. So I've been trying. I've been pursuing music and trying to learn it. Ever since I can remember, and I'm still doing it today, I guess.
You also play violin, right?
Correct.
How did you start that?
I guess pretty much the same way. I think my grandfather took the initiative of buying a violin for me when I was maybe 10 or 11 or something like that. And I started to take classes at the Gothenburg Symphony Orchestra House. And it's always been an instrument that has spoken, very, very specially to me, but it's also a very unforgiving, very, very difficult instrument. So it keeps on punishing me. But when I'm at home, it's probably the instrument that I play the most. And it's always, pretty much always Italian violin music, like Vivaldi and Paganini and stuff like that. So when I was in Venice the last time, I went to see the Four Seasons at a Baroque church. So that was bellissima.
How do you keep your voice trained, and how do you train to, how can I say, how do you train to keep on playing guitar? Yeah.
Fingers. Well, I tried many different things, like, for example, stay up all night, sleep 4 hours, and then go on stage, and my voice still worked. And then I tried to warm up for a long time before the show, and it feels the same. So I just realized that I don't do anything. The only thing I think about is to use my support when I speak. Yes, like now, for example. Because if I don't do that, I will speak like this, and then that makes the throat very stämband. So you always have to think about, it's like just, especially on tour, like daily, use your technique. And if I'm just awake, if I'm just in contact with my body and the breathing, and I have my voice, it's always there. It's nothing I have to force. And and then the rest you can't do anything about, like if you get sick or, it's just like things you can't affect. So
For me, I guess it's just a question of playing a lot, because I think just by being on tour, if you're just playing on the stage, then maybe you're going downwards if you're playing an instrument. But especially on this tour, I've actually been practicing quite a lot, especially in the beginning of the tour. I was playing like 2 hours every day with my small practicing amp, driving everybody crazy with a lot of scales.
Like this beat that you follow, so like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah,
It's
but
very
no, but it's really good to try to stay in shape, and also realizing that not only are you staying at the same level, you are also somehow improving. So I think that's important.
Elize, this year you took part in Melody Festival with Richard, yes, singing One by One. What's the song about, and how did you compose it, and how was working with him?
Well, I went into the studio with a lot of different songwriters because I want to develop my songwriting, and I have a plan to also be able to work as a songwriter besides the band and write for other artists because I really love it. And so I met this guy, and I said that I was thinking a lot about all the people I've been meeting, being on tour. And I know that, I heard many stories, and it's easier to write a song about it, what you want to tell them if they're having a hard time. Because then I can play it for them, hopefully they understand the message. Instead of like maybe writing an email or call and say those words. So that was the main goal with writing the song. So it's called One by One, and it's about actually taking one step at a time. And if you're feeling, very low or sad, or things are falling apart in your life and you don't know what to do about it, this song is supposed to be uplifting. And I just want to speak from my own perspective that just take it easy, learn to run, take it step by step, one by one, and because it will get better. And it's always the truth. I never seen anything, even if you think that it's like everything is just, you will not feel better, everything is just destroyed and you want to give up everything. It's just like, if you go past that, you will feel so much better afterwards. And that's what I wanted to say to everyone who's doubting themselves and their life. So, and it was awesome to work with Richard, because he's like so freaking funny. And we're still friends. I'm going to his birthday party right after this tour, actually. And yeah, it was a very, very nice experience. I'm very glad my song got picked, and that we to have this whole experience. It was amazing.
Okay. Will you take part in it in the future again?
I think so. Yeah. No, because it was actually some problems with the voting this year. So it's been so much discussions in Sweden, like the voting was unfair.
That the first people played lost some votes.
Yeah, so we saw with all the numbers now afterwards, and me and Rickard actually ended up on the second place with the phone votes. And it used to be like that before, that you only could call. But now they had this app which everyone was pushing, and they could see that the numbers were growing like the longer you went into the competition. So that affected us, unfortunately. But I think maybe, like I always do, I believe in faith and destiny, and it was the destiny and karma, everything. So it was just like how it was supposed to be this time. Me, because I would not, be able to do this whole tour. I would probably not be able, if I went to the Eurovision, I couldn't do the US tour. So it's someone speaking to me saying that I have to focus on this right now, and when I have the opportunity in the future, I will definitely take that.
Have you ever had an embarrassing moment on stage caused by your stage outfit?
Caused by my outfit? I guess someone else have to tell me.
Okay.
I don't know. No, I would say I'm very, very, very careful with my clothes. Because I usually have these dresses and skirts and stuff, which I really like. I like to be girly, and I think that's it's my style. And But I have like double pants, but they're transparent, so it looks like skin. And then I have like shorts and then the skirt. So just to make sure that there won't be any embarrassing images from underneath. Sometimes that's the only thing. I know people think that maybe I don't have anything besides panties under my skirt. That would be embarrassing. But otherwise, no. Not yet. Yeah. Funny question, by the way.
Talking about Nexus, you have a cat called Nexus, and the second album is called Nexus. Was the album made before naming your cat, or?
Yeah, the cat was actually named after the album, and yeah, there was just a lot of good things in my life at the moment being called Nexus, so it was a good choice, and it's a really good cat name because it has a lot of K and S, Nexus, so it's a good way to create attention for the cat.
Nexus. Nej, Nexus. Sorry.
Nowadays, music is spread through the internet and not a lot by physical CDs. What's your opinion about that?
I think one of the very essences of us being quite successful quite early was because of the internet, and we were really trying to use it to our advantage with MySpace initially, and later on Facebook and Spotify and whatever. And of course, it's a little bit sad that people don't buy the CDs because the CDs generate more income for the artists. But at the same time, this attention on internet creates interest for people to come to our concerts, and also to, at the end of the day, they do buy the CDs, quite many as well. So yeah, it's really been working to our advantage, and I think to this day we have like 70 million plays on Spotify and maybe another 60 million plays on YouTube. So that's obviously a very powerful thing, that your music gets heard that much.
You want to add something?
No, well, I'm very doubled because it would be very interesting to see if we could get a record deal, like back in the days. That's something I, of course, never will find out about. But as you said, it's good that bands and artists in general can get discovered, sorry, through online, because it gives people a bigger opportunity to, be able to show their their art. Yeah.
Okay. Imagine to run off to a desert island and you could only take 5 things. What would they be and why?
Oh, I play music through my phone, so I would say my phone and my phone, my earplugs, headphones, so I can play music, listen to music. Tanning cream, vad heter det? Sunscreen. Some protection because I'm a little scared of the sun. Shades and toothbrush with paste.
Okay. And you?
Well, I guess I would bring some instrument, maybe a guitar or violin. Violin is probably better because you don't need to plug it in. And my phone as well. And my small Bluetooth speaker called Busse that we always bring everywhere. And Nexus.
Oh, Gussi.
Yeah.
It sounds very cozy. It's so funny. I
Yeah,
thought,
and sunglasses as well. Yeah.
it's very nice to press your eyes. But I was also talking about I have my instrument here all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time,
exactly.
so it's so easy to carry with me. That's awesome.
Okay. That's all for now. Thank you for your time. Is there anything you would like to say to your fans or Heavy Words readers?
Yes, we want to say thank you for your support, and we love you from the bottom of our hearts. That's like, oh.
Yeah, it's always really nice to be here in Italy, and yeah, just like Elize said, thank you so much for the support, and I hope you will enjoy the show.
If you're coming.
If you're coming. Otherwise, come next time.
Oh.